Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephanienadia. If this is your first time coming across my channel, I'm going to be doing the pros and cons of studying a master's degree in the UK. This is a video I've been wanting to do, and after talking to my friends and just reflecting on my experiences, I feel this is the right time. So just a little background in case it's your first time coming across my channel. I'm Stephanienadia, as I said earlier. I moved to the UK in February 2023 and I've been living there here ever since. I came on a student visa. I'm done with my masters now. I'm currently working in the UK, so I've gone through the student life. Should we do the pros or the cons first? I think maybe we should do the cons first and then we'll end it out with a good. So without saying too much, let's get into the video. So one con I feel I cannot even leave to the last is the weather. Why are we wearing winter jackets in spring? 1 minute is rainy, the next minute the sun is shining. The next minute is almost snowing. We just finished winter, so we're supposed to enter spring where we'd be wearing less things. You can stay outside longer because the weather is not as harsh. Flowers bloom, the weather is getting warmer. You stop wearing winter jackets out, you're supposed to start wearing just jumpers and stuff. No, the weather in the UK is too unpredictable. I'm not even gonna say so unpredictable. It's too unpredictable. You need to prepare if you're planning to come to live in the UK or study in the UK. You need to prepare your wardrobe for this weather. It's a very confused, gloomy weather. Mentally stresses you out a lot because the weather app will literally tell you it's gonna be sunny today. You see it raining. The next con I wanted to mention, this is going to be a pro and a con at the same time. I explain later on why it's a pro and a con. The restrictions as a student in the UK. So with Canada, currently their laws have allowed international students to be able to work full-time when you're studying a master's. So you can, if you have bills to pay, if you have to pay your tuition, so you can be able to make money in time to pay those things. But in the UK, you can only work 20 hours, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time. Blessing because you don't focus too much on work and forget about your studies and then have bad grades, because that's going to go against you when you apply for your postgrad work permit. But it's a curse also because if you are someone that is planning to work to pay your tuition, working 20 hours is not gonna cut it, because you're going to have to think of accommodation, groceries, bills, all that jazz. So restrictions on the fact that you're a student and some jobs you can't work in. I think if you're on a student visa, you can't work as a sportsman, and professions you can't work in if you are on a student visa. Another thing as well is because you can't work full-time, a lot of companies do not take you further after your interview stage, even if you fit the role and you can do the job. CV was good enough, you aced the interview, cannot move forward with you because you're on a student visa and they want someone that can work the full hours. Because even if they are willing to give you 20 hours, maybe sometimes you have to work overtime when it's needed, and because you're on 20 hours, if they break the law and give you more than 20 hours, it goes against you and it goes against the organization themselves, so they get penalized as well. They want to get someone that is not only in the country on a 1-year visa, because the student visa is only for 1 year. For some reason, finding an accommodation in the UK is quite difficult now. It was difficult when I was coming in 2023, but it's worse now. There are websites that you can use, there are platforms and there are agents that you can use. But I think because of the cost of living and the state of the economy right now, accommodation costs are going higher. So even if you have access to those platforms, a lot of them will not be within your budget if you're moving to the UK. So one thing I need to tell you is to prepare. Plan for about 5 months or 6 months of rent before you move. As a student, some people might even ask for 3 months up front. I came to live in the student accommodation for 1 semester, and my student accommodation I had to pay 3 months up front. You can contact finance and then have an agreement with them based on how much you earn, and then they can agree with you that you pay on a monthly basis, stuff like that. So yeah, accommodation is not the easiest to find in the UK right now. I don't know if that was the case in the past, but currently it's not the easiest to find if you're moving to the UK. Another con of studying a master's degree in the UK is because most of the master's degrees are 1 year, the duration in the UK, your course seems to be packed, like condensed into the year, whereas you'd learn something over the period of 2 years. It's been condensed so you can learn it over the period of 1 year. So it's a lot happening and sometimes it's hard to grasp. So it's very, very difficult. There's a lot of schoolwork, there's a lot of assignments. Every month I had an assignment to submit, and they were not less than 3,000 words that you had to be thinking about, research that you're doing. Imagine working, imagine trying to have a social life. This next point I'm about to mention, a lot of people might not agree with me, and a lot of people might come at me. I don't think if you're not coming to do a professional course, it's actually worth it. Hear me out, okay? If you're coming to do a course like MBA, if you're coming to do a course like a course or a profession in STEM, or a course that you know it's linked to jobs that they really need in the UK, trust me, coming to do a course like international business, like my course, I'll use myself as scapegoat. You learn a little of everything. You're not a master of anything. I did a little bit of the problems of the world. I did a little bit of global issues. I did a little bit of data analytics and blockchain. I did a little bit of everything, but I'm not a master of anything. So it doesn't exactly put me ahead of anybody in an interview or in a job application. So unless you're coming to do a professional course or a course that is in a field that is linked to like areas where they need jobs, like they need people to fill in jobs in the UK, I don't think doing a master's in the UK is for you. This is my view. That's personally what I think. And some people might agree with me because it's the hard truth, but a lot of the masters that you'd come and do here might end up being useless if you just chose the course because you wanted to study abroad. You need to think through your courses very well. Make sure it can set you apart from other people in an application if you're applying for a job. Because the whole point is to get a job that can help you pay your bills, that can set you up for life. As of recently, the cost of applying for a student visa, just a visa in general, because of the health surcharge, has risen. So it's so far it's the most expensive application cost I've ever had, because when I was coming, my application cost for a student visa was about $400 and something. You can't just pay for the application cost. You have to pay for your health insurance for the period of time of visa you're asking for. Health surcharge came up to almost £900. So in total, as at my time, I was almost at 20,000 Ghana cedis. That's just the application for visa process alone. So compared to US, Canada, other countries, applying for visa in the UK is quite costly. And as of April 2024, the costs have gone up over 100%. If health surcharge was about 800, almost 900, currently health surcharge for 2 years was over £2,000. I'll just leave that with you, okay? Visa costs in the UK are very high. Plainly put, they're very, very high compared to other countries. So that's another con. The next con is, as of April 2024, they have made changes to immigration laws and a lot of things. That's a whole nother video. If you want me to do a video on that, I can do my research and do a video on that one. You cannot bring dependents if you're coming to study a master's in the UK that is 1 year. And most masters in the UK are 1 year, unless maybe you want to do it part-time or you want to do it like as a placement and you get to be placed in an organization in your second year. But if you're coming to study a master's in the UK, which is 1 year, you do not qualify to bring a dependent. So if you have a wife or children or like a husband and children or people that depend on you, you cannot bring them. Whereas in other countries, that is not the case. You can sponsor your dependents and they'll come with you to study your master's. Currently, you can't do that in the UK if you're coming to study a master's that is 1 year, which is very, very inconvenient because that is breaking families apart. They're obviously doing what is best for their country, but as an international student, that doesn't favor a lot of families. The last con I wanted to mention is there's little to zero scholarship opportunities in the UK. How do I even explain this one? So you know the way there's a lot of graduate assistantship opportunities, for instance, because I have friends that are on those scholarships in the US, and there's some of it in Canada as well. UK, there's little to no. I've not even heard someone saying I'm on a graduate assistantship scholarship. I've never heard it. So scholarship opportunities are very scarce in the UK. The scholarship options compared to other countries in the UK, it's very, very little. It's very, very minimal. So it's very hard if you want to come here based on a scholarship. Like, you hardly hear of any scholarship. Out of all the students I know in the UK, I know only one person on a scholarship, and she's studying cybersecurity, and it's even an organization that is in the UK, I think, that gave it to her. So if you're coming here, you're either fending for yourself, or your government would have to give you a scholarship. And if you're from Ghana, let's not even get into the Ghana scholarship, okay? I'll see you guys in my next video. I love you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? Okay, so we're moving on to the pros list, okay? Pros list. I feel like the cons were everlasting. They were just going on.